Right, in my last video I said that I'd tell you how my different physical and mental health problems affect my day-to-day life. Because there's an assumption that because I can talk on a video like this that I can work and there's not a problem. As I said in my last video, I have diagnoses of depressive disorder, recurrent depressive disorder, adjustment disorder, depressive type, and dysthymia. Now, those come with certain textbook symptoms, such as poor or increased appetite, sleep disturbance, loss of interest or pleasure in usual activities, feelings of self-reproach, excessive or inappropriate guilt, slowed thinking or indecisiveness, and recurrent thoughts of death and suicidal ideation and suicide attempts. Those are the ones out of the textbooks that I suffer from. And that I'm only going to say what the ones I suffer from. The other things that it has caused in me are feelings of anxiety, feelings of paranoia, especially with all the disability benefit claimant rhetoric that is pumped out of the media from our politicians, and it's just building up a hatred. So whenever I do go out, and I don't go out often, when I do go out, I think people are looking at me and judging me. I have obsessions and compulsions. The reason I'm doing these videos at the moment on my phone is because as soon as I turn my computer on, I go down the rabbit hole, and everything, even though I've not got the attention span, I am compelled to be on the computer for hours and hours, and I forget to eat, I forget to drink, and I become unwell. So I'm trying to do the videos on my smartphone so that I put the computer on, upload them, do all the necessary stuff, and then get off as quick as possible. I have feelings of emptiness. I have for a long time, and it's not easy to live like that. I have a lack of motivation. I need people to prompt me to do things. I even need prompting to have a shower or change my clothes or to eat or to take my medications. I have a lack of interest in my personal safety. I will look both ways and when I cross a road, but more often than not, even if a car is coming, I will probably walk and not care if I make it to the other side of the road. And there's other self-harming behaviours that I do in respect to my personal safety. And self-harming behaviours isn't necessarily what you think they are. And if you're interested in what my definitions of self-harming behaviours are, I will do a video if you want me to. I have violent mood swings. And I'm not talking about I become violent. I'm saying I go from 0 to really angry very, very fast. And I get triggered by things that you wouldn't consider triggering. I have a persecution complex. I hate myself as well. And you can only imagine what that feels like unless you have that problem yourself. You do not understand how bad self-hatred can be. My memory was bad before COVID. I struggle over words, as you have seen sometimes in these videos. I take no pride in my appearance. This t-shirt, you will have noticed on several videos, it's got holes in where my ex-wife's hamsters got loose, got into the drawer where they were kept and bit holes in them. And I just keep wearing them. 1, I can't afford to replace them. 2, I just don't give a damn. I have a need for external validation. Now, it really is quite bad. I really question my worth, even though I have shown my worth in a number of different roles. I need to collect things as well. So I'm a bit of a hoarder. Not so bad that my flat is so full of stuff you can't get round, but I have a lot of things. And I tend to like part works, so I will go out and buy a part work. And I really get, it peels the enamel off my teeth if I can't finish a collection. I feel the need to buy things to feel normal. So this plays into one of my self-harming behaviours, and like I said, I will discuss self-harming behaviours, not how to do them. I'm not doing a how-to video on how to harm yourself, but what the self-harming behaviours are. So there are some days I really cannot drag myself out of bed, and it is worse than just, oh, I have to get up, it's Monday morning, gotta face work. It's not that. It is so much worse. It is as if I get out of bed, I am no longer safe. I have to stay in bed because the world is so hostile. When I do get up, I feel bad all day, every day. It does not get any better. I can laugh sometimes. I can have fun. But that doesn't mean to say that that lasts more than a few minutes. It's very difficult for me to be sustained happy. Now, it's not just the depressive illnesses that cause me a problem. The side effects of the medications I take for it include excessive drowsiness, blurred vision, anxiety attacks. Some raise my blood pressure, some lower my blood pressure, excessive sweating, erectile dysfunction and increased appetite. which is why I am heavy set. Oh, let's face it, I'm fat. But that's because my medication makes me drowsy, so I can't get out and do the exercise. I lack the motivation to do so. And I'm constantly eating because my medication is prompting my body to feel it. Getting on to the physical health stuff, I have arthritis, so I'm in constant pain, and that is in my knee, but I've also started getting it elsewhere. I have gout, which gives me, and it's not all the time, but I get bouts of red, swollen and painful toes because my body produces too much uric acid and crystals form at the tips of my toes and other parts of the body and cause pain. Imagine stubbing your toe and it not just hurting for a few minutes, but hurting all day. That's what it's like to have gout. And I do not indulge in any of the things I was told to stop to prevent gout. I'm on medication that reduces the uric acid levels, but I'm right now in the middle of another bout of gout. Long COVID is another one of my problems. I was on a ventilator in critical care in 2020. It was only for 12 days, but it has left me with chronic fatigue, memory problems, slight cognitive impairment, occasional difficulty breathing. I sometimes wake up out of a deep sleep, unable to breathe, or when I'm walking, I will become breathless and have to stop every so often. And I suffer from neuropathic pain. And the neuropathic pain in my case is more like itching. And I have scratched the skin from my legs in places and on my feet where I have suddenly just got an itch that will not go. And I have, like I said, I've torn skin off and it's not repairing like it used to. So every time I get a bout of neuropathic pain, I scratch the areas that have already been damaged and it makes it worse. Last August, I was diagnosed in the same blood test with diabetes and high cortisol levels. Now, cortisol is a steroid and high steroid levels can cause diabetes. So I don't know that the doctor seemed to think it was strange me being diagnosed with both at the same time. Now, the high cortisol levels may have caused a diabetes, but we don't know. We don't know why I've got high cortisol levels either. I'm still waiting to see an endocrinologist about that. And the GP seems to think it might be Cushing's syndrome, which can cause, and sorry, I have to read off of my list here, weight gain, weakness in the upper arms, depression and mood swings, as if I haven't got enough problems in the depression and mood swings, because I've had depression for almost 47 years. It'll be 47 years in May. It can also cause high blood pressure. And if I have got Cushing's syndrome, then that could be caused by a tumour in the pituitary gland in my brain, or on one of the adrenal glands above the kidneys. And thanks to my time on the COVID ward, I had sepsis. It affected my kidneys. I had an acute kidney injury, and I'm at greater risk of acute kidney disease. So things aren't going well in the physical realm. I've also got a bulging disc in my lower back. That's the discs in between the vertebrae, which stop the vertebrae rubbing together. Now, my disc is bulging over the sides, and it sometimes catches the sciatic nerve. That causes sciatica, and sometimes it stops me walking or makes walking extremely painful. So that also causes a knock-on effect of I can't take certain jobs in case it sets my back off. Also, I have sneezed and thrown my back out because of the bulging disc has been moved enough to catch a sciatic nerve, and it has caused me a lot of pain. So just a sneeze can do that. I have narrow anterior chamber angles, which is where the fluid circulates around the eyeball and the lens. I had corrective laser surgery on that, but it has left me with an arc of light in both my eyes, where they had to laser holes in my iris, and there is a failure rate of that operation. If it turns out that it reverses, I could lose my sight or become completely blind. I may get some advanced notification, because where the chambers are blocked, it will cause pain. But there's also a possibility that I will just wake up one morning and I will be blind. If I'm lucky and I get the pain first, I may be able to get to a hospital to have the laser surgery done again. But there's a chance that I may get the pain and not get to hospital in time and end up with either very poor sight or become blind. I also have recurrent bouts of B12 deficiency, which causes depression. So I've got depressive illnesses. I also have other things that cause depression, such as the if it turns out to be Cushing's syndrome, that, but I've also got a B12 deficiency. It happens not all the time, but it does show up in my blood tests quite often. I have daily headaches and have done since 1997. There was only once when I had a month off with no headaches at all. Sometimes they become migraines, and anyone who's had a migraine will understand how disabling they can be. I also have recurrent bouts of hematuria, which is blood in the urine, and the guy who's the rheumatologist who I saw about the gout said it's quite possible it's uric acid crystals that are forming in my bladder, and as I pee, it's tearing the side of my urethra. On top of all that, I have the side effects of my physical health meds. I've told you about the psych meds. These are the side effects, or some of the side effects of my physical health meds. Drowsiness, increased appetite. Some increase my blood pressure, some decrease my blood pressure, and blurry eyesight. And of course, diabetes can blur your eyesight as well. So I've got diabetes and the meds doing it. I've got psych meds and physical health meds that cause excessive drowsiness, increasing and decreasing the blood pressure. So it's very difficult to get everything sorted. And again, increased appetite. So I'm having to eat more to keep keep the appetite at bay. And because multiple medications have similar side effects or the same side effects, the effect of each one multiplies the next one. So I've got about 4 meds that increase drowsiness. Depression already causes sleep disturbance and drowsiness. I've then got meds on top of that, multiple meds on top of that, which are that increase the drowsiness each time. So this is, not only do I lack the motivation to get out of bed, I can get out of bed and end up falling asleep on the sofa within an hour, which also causes the weight gain because I'm eating while I'm awake because I've got the increased appetite, and I'm falling asleep. So I not only lack the motivation, I do not get to do the exercise anyway. So just because I can do a video like this does not mean to say that my life is not a struggle. I am better off than a person in a wheelchair or an amputee or certain other conditions. That does not mean to say that my life is easy, because it's not. And it's not just what I am suffering from, both mental and physical ill health. It's the stuff I take to try and manage those problems. And if you think that I can get a job, then you find me the employer who will employ me knowing very well that I may fall asleep on the job. Or if the laser surgery has does get reversed somehow. I go blind, or my eyesight goes bad within a couple of minutes. No employer will want to take me. Also, with my mixed personality disorder, I have difficulty dealing with people, very bad difficulty dealing with people, which is why I don't go out much anymore. I tried doing voluntary work. I did that for quite a few years, but it came to a point where I could no longer do it, because I find interaction so hard. And as part of the EMDR therapy I had for my PTSD caused by my time on the COVID ward, she suggested that I took an online screener for autism. She said that to get it professionally done would be very difficult, because so many people are trying to find out whether they are autistic or not. The waiting list is in the years now. And she said this test is a good indicator. So if you don't really care whether you've got a definite diagnosis, if you just want to know, it's possible. So I did that, and I'm also rated high on autistic symptoms. Autistic traits, that's the word, sorry. And that makes sense. I do have a problem with people. I do have a problem. Whether it is actually autism, I don't know, but I am significantly into the score you get on that test for autistic traits. Everyone will have some degree of autistic traits. Mine are much higher. It actually hits the criteria, or the point score you need to be diagnosed as autistic. So I've got that as a problem too, possibly. I won't know for sure. I'm not going to put myself on the waiting list. It's already overly subscribed. It would be years, and I don't need to know for sure. I have enough other problems that cause difficulties with human beings than having an extra diagnosis. So I'm sorry this has been a very long video, but there was a lot to cover. But this is why you can't consider someone with a mental health problem as being able to work. Some can, some can't, and I'm one of those that can't. I've got to the point where I can't anymore, or not a regular job. I cannot hold down regular hours, and I can't even do flexible working because I can't guarantee to be okay for a particular shift or a particular day or even a particular week. So it's very difficult for me to get a job. And then there's the I could fall asleep at any time, go blind at any time, or I can just not think well enough to be able to conduct any kind of job. Anyway, I apologise for the length of this video. Probably be the least watched video I'll ever produce. But like I said, there had to be a lot to cover, because I have to say how this affects me. If you found this interesting, then click like. If you want more videos like this and on other subjects, I don't like to restrict myself to any one particular subject, then why not subscribe and press the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And hopefully I might see you again. If you've got any questions on depression from a sufferer's perspective, I will just leave a comment below this video or any of my videos, and I will answer your question. But it will be from a sufferer's point of view. It will not be a clinical viewpoint, because a clinical viewpoint is very restricted. If you'd like information on what I consider are the self-harming behaviours and the various types, then I will do that as well. Just leave a comment in the comment box below this video. So hope to see you soon. I'll see you later.